Hello everybody, it's Maikito. I was planning on making a video yesterday, but I didn't just because I was doing the research and had everything ready. And right when I was about to record, the ones that I had chose had gone off, so there was no point in making the video. But I did post in the Discord, and I'll talk about that later. But I thought I'd just get straight into the picks. There's one Champions League game tomorrow, and I did find a couple that I liked. My first one is Julian Brandt, lower than 6 crosses. He's gone under this mark in 4 out of 5 games and the last 7 out of 10. He only goes over against teams that he plays that have low possession of the ball, as in Dortmund will have a lot of the possession, and this is not going to happen against PSG. They played them twice this season already, and in both of those games, Dortmund had less possession of the ball. So that's just even better for us. In those 2 games, one of them he ended with 6, and on the other one he had 4. And I think there's a 50-50 chance that he'll get subbed out. He averages 6 in the season, so he could end with 6, but I don't think he'll end with 7. I just like this more, especially because PSG are probably going to have a little more of the ball than them. And you'll notice that I'm going to be talking a lot about the unders on the crosses because I feel like they overvalue them too much. And a lot of these marks are sound low, and that's what they want you to do. They want you to take them. My next pick is Achraf Hakimi, lower than 3.5 crosses. Again, like Brandt, he only goes over against teams with high possession of the ball, and that's mainly in the league. In the Champions League, he averages 2.25, and those averages are heavily skewed towards the 2 Newcastle games where he went over in 7 and 4. But in all the other Champions League games, he goes low. In the last Barca game, he had 3. But other than that, against Sociedad, he had 2. He played him again, he had 2. He played Milan, he had 2. And like I said, he played them both times this season. And in both of the games, he had 0 in both of those. So I like this mark at 3.5 when he only averages 2.25, sorry. And if anything, he's going to be sending long balls. I don't think he's going to be crossing the ball much. PSG is not a team that will cross a lot because they don't really have like a players to send the ball to. They're more of playing through balls. So I like him, lower than 3.5 crosses. My next one is Ian Maatsen, lower than 2.5 crosses. Again, he averages 2 per 90 minutes in the league, and in the Champions League, he averages 2.4. So he's already under this mark. His averages in general, again, I feel like this is a low mark meant to try to trick you and make you take the over. He's gone under this in 8 out of 10 games. He likes to play the ball short. He's not really a long ball passer, which is pretty much what crossing is. He needs to cross the ball, and he likes to play him short, and he can't really afford to go up too high because if he does, he's marking Ousmane Dembele, and he can't afford to give him that much space because he's really, really quick. So I feel like his main assignment is going to be to guard him. So I just don't even think he's going to be going up in general for him to even be able to get crosses. So I like Maatsen lower than 2.5 saves. And then my last one, you can only take it on underdog. You get less of a payout, but I'm just mentioning it just because it's I feel like it's pretty safe. And that's Kobo, higher than 2.5 saves. PSG will shoot even if they are having a bad game. That doesn't mean that they're not going to shoot because they will anyways. He went over in 1 out of the 2 games. The one where he didn't is because Dortmund were playing away and they were playing a 5-back. They were playing really conservative against them, and I don't expect them to do that in this game. When he played them earlier in the season at home, he had 4 saves, and he averages 3.4 saves in the league and 3.78 in the Champions League. So already averages over this mark in general. And PSG are projected to have 5 shots on target, and I definitely expect them to get at least 3 of them because he saves over 71% of his shots. So you can take him at 3, which is where I believe most of his lines are going to be at later in the day. I think he for sure gets 3, whether he gets that 4th. But on underdog, you can get him at 2.5. So I'll for sure take him there. I want to give a shout out to my partner, Underdog Fantasy. You can use code Maikito linked in the description. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. I also have my Fliff and my Cashapp linked in the description if you guys want to use those. And I appreciate anybody who uses either one of those. When it comes to a money line for the Champions League game, I didn't really see anything just because I feel like this game is going to be close. If anything, the only one I would consider looking at would be the Dortmund money line, just because they tied when they played them at home, and they are the underdogs. PSG are expected to go through, but if Dortmund want any chance of beating them, they have to win at home. And so if you want to take anything, you can look at that when it comes to that game. but you don't have to. And then the only money line that I did like is in the CONCACAF Champions League. It is the Monterrey money line going up against Columbus. When they played in the first game, I actually took Columbus, but this time I'm gonna take the other way around and go Monterrey. They need to win at least by one to guarantee at least extra time, which is what they're gonna want. They're much better at home. In 3 home games in this tournament, they've won all 3, and they've gone over this mark in 6 out of 10 games in the league. And Columbus are yet to win in away games this season. I have tied most of them and lost a couple, but it just comes to show that they probably are very, very unlikely to beat them. It's just whether Monterrey can get the win, and I think they will. And this comes down to, I've talked about this before, to trust Mexican teams in Mexico, and the U.S. teams generally play even worse than they generally do away in the U.S. just because of the Mexican atmosphere. So I like the Monterrey money line against Columbus. So quickly going over the last video that I had made 2 days ago, the player props that I posted, I swept those. Bissouma pushed, but other than that, Wahi hit, Nyland, Dimitrescu, Murillo, Batalla, and Vicario all hit, so I swept those on the video. I added some more in the description. One of them pushed, but I went 3 for 5, or 3 right, 2 wrong on those. And then money lines were not that good. I got 1 right, and the other ones unfortunately missed. And then in the last 2 days that I haven't been posting, I still have been putting plays in the Discord. 2 days ago, I gave 3 money lines, and they all hit. And then today, I sent picks for the game, and I got 7 right and 4 wrong. So still did pretty good on those. So like I said before, if for some reason I don't post, I'll make sure to give plays in that Discord, and then there are likely to be more plays or more picks to pick from closer to game time tomorrow. So make sure to come back to the video and check the description. I'll make sure to have added plays. I will very likely have some more added on there. But I really appreciate everybody for watching. If you can leave a like or a comment, anything helps boost the video out to other people. And I hope you all have a good night, and we can cash out tomorrow.